Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review movies and television and give you my thoughts and opinions on them. Today we're going over the Time Capsule starring Todd Grinnell, Brianna Hildebrand, and KaDee Strickland. The film is directed by Erwann Marshall. It starts with a really cool question and concept, and then in a painstakingly slow and boring way shows you that it's nothing more than a dramatic retelling of this 40-year-old guy cheating on his wife with a hot young barely legal woman. I wanted to like it because the concept brings up a lot of interesting questions, but the film answers those questions in the shallowest ways possible. It doesn't really explore the taboo nature of what's going on, and it doesn't present anything of value. Jack is a politician who fails to win his election after an embarrassing video of him goes viral. He shouted, "Fuck yeah!" at some children and got a very negative reaction. To get away from the media hounding him, he takes his wife Maggie back to his father's cabin in the south. While there, he meets up with old friends and enjoys old sights until he sees his high school girlfriend. She hasn't aged a day in 20 years and he thinks he's losing his mind. He goes home and looks her up to find that she was on a colony ship that spent 10 years traveling to another planet, and then something went wrong and the ship was sent back to Earth. She and the other colonists didn't age while in space, so she is still physically 18. The two meet again and an old spark reignites. Jack is caught between the love of his life that got away and his wife of 5 years. The story starts off with a really interesting question. What if you could have a chance at the life that got away? Or in Jack's case, the one that got away. With Jack and Elise, we also have a lot of interesting ethical questions. The problem is that the movie doesn't do any of this well. It's boring, shallow, and way longer than it needs to be. The entire movie consists of people talking and solely talking. The closest we get to any action is Jack dancing with Elise for 10 seconds. They don't address most of the important issues that the film presents and instead focus on a will they won't they love story that is lacking any romance or chemistry or reason. Jack and Elise only ever talk and never do anything together. They don't talk about their interests or hobbies, they don't joke very much, and when they interact they mostly just monologue at each other. Their love feels shallow and unrealistic. The other details of Jack's life feel redundant to the story and just make Jack look like an even bigger douche. He's married and has a career and is willing to risk all of it for this girl he hasn't seen in 20 years? They should at least have amazing chemistry, and they don't. Jack isn't a good main character, and they spent way too long making him look awful for the ending to make any sense. Why does this guy get a happy ending after blowing up his marriage and career and basically chaining himself to Elise for life? Most of the acting in this film is serviceable, but the leads are not great. They lack chemistry and both of them are rather stone-faced throughout the film. It's hard to believe that either of these people is in love with the other, and the story requires their love to feel electric. Their tones and expressions rarely change throughout the entire film, and the only people that seem to show any kind of real emotions are Hank and Maggie. Maggie, played by KaDee Strickland, is by far the most interesting character. She's politically savvy and an ambitious woman who seems to be more interested in Jack's future political career than him, and she pulls off some impressive character work during her scenes with Brianna Hildebrand. Nelson Bonilla as Hank seems legitimately upset at his lot in life and takes his anger out on Jack. He isn't given a lot of screen time, but his character was a close second to Maggie's. The soundtrack is a lot of half-baked 3-note tracks played out on a piano. It was boring and generic and often doesn't even fit the mood of the scene. I was constantly stuck wondering if I should feel sad or awkward listening to the music. Visually, nothing happens in this film but basic conversations. We have conversations in cars, in a bar, on a beach, on a hill, and inside and outside of houses. There's a lot of talking and a lot of basic cutting back and forth between two people. They tried to make it look vaguely futuristic at times, but most of the environment looks just like the world of today, and while there are a few pieces of technology they did have that were kind of cool, they didn't seem like they were all that futuristic. There was a moving photo, some touch screen computers, and a digital fireworks display in the sky, but all that stuff is like 5 years from now at maximum. They also spend a lot of time on montages. I watch films like the Time Capsule and I just wonder why. Who is this film for? Jack and Elise aren't likable or memorable, and their romance is a D- work at best. I don't recommend this film as there's nothing to get out of it. 3 out of 10.